Have you ever wondered what it feels like to freeze to death? Would you survive one night at -40 degrees? With nothing but fire and animal skin between you and the dark? Do you think you could hunt an animal 10 times your size just to eat? How long would you last with no walls, no heat, and predators that saw you as prey? Brace yourself, because this is what would happen if you lived during the Ice Age. "20,000 years ago, Earth's coldest chapter, scientists call it the last glacial maximum, the peak of the last ice age. Global average temperature, about 6 degrees Celsius colder than today. Doesn't sound like much. It's the difference between a forest and a frozen desert. Ice covered 8% of the entire planet. Sea levels dropped 410 feet, so low. A land bridge opened up between Siberia and Alaska. People just walked across. You're not in a city. You're not even in a village. You're standing in the middle of the Mammoth steppe, a frozen grassland stretching from Spain to Mongolia. No trees for miles, no shelter but what you build yourself. Just wind, snow, and whatever's out there hunting in it. And somehow, you have to survive it. You wake up in a cave. It's still dark. It's always dark this time of year. Something shifts in the back of the cave. Deep, heavy. You freeze. There, barely visible in the dying firelight, a shape the size of a small car, curled up against the far wall. A cave bear, 1,000 pounds easy. And on its hind legs it would tower over every person in this cave combined. Here's the twist, it's mostly harmless. Cave bears eat plants, not people. But mostly harmless changes fast if you startle one out of hibernation in a space this tight. With nowhere to run. You don't make a sound. You don't even breathe loud. You back toward the entrance, slow, and let it sleep. Outside, the wind hits -40 Fahrenheit. That's not a bring a jacket kind of cold. That's a your breath freezes before it leaves your mouth kind of cold. Your cave sits 6 feet underground, and it's 20 to 30 degrees warmer down here than up on the surface. That's not luck. Your ancestors tracked down this natural sanctuary on purpose, claiming the exact depth where the earth shields you from the deadly winter above. No central heating. No insulated walls, just fire and the fur on your back. You've got layers, hide on the inside, moss and dried grass in the middle, woven bark on the outside. Modern engineers didn't invent that trick. You did, 30,000 years before them. That clothing is about to matter more than you think. Because later tonight, something with teeth built for tearing is going to test exactly how good your defenses really are. Breakfast, if you can call it that, is whatever's left from yesterday. Frozen berries, a strip of dried meat, tough as leather. You chew slow. Calories don't come easy out here. Someone at the mouth of the cave shouts. Big tracks in the snow. Fresh ones. Time to move. You follow the tracks for an hour. Through snow, through wind that doesn't stop, not even for a second. Then you see the tracks you actually came for. A woolly mammoth, 11 feet tall at the shoulder, 6 tons, tusks curving out past 13 feet long. Picture a school bus, now give it fur, tusks in a bad mood. This isn't a hunt you win by strength, you win it with your brain. Your group spreads out. Some circle wide, some wait with sharpened stone-tipped spears. You drive it, toward a drop, toward a trap. Your heart is pounding so loud you're sure the mammoth can hear it. One wrong step, and those tusks don't care how fast you can run. One mistake, and it's over in a second. Get it right, and this one animal feeds your entire tribe for weeks. Frankly, that's the whole math of the Ice Age. Every hunt is a bet, your life on one side of the scale. The mammoth stumbles. The trap holds, it's down. Your tribe won't go hungry tonight, but don't relax, because you're not the only hunter on this steppe. And here's the thing nobody tells you about the Ice Age. The cold isn't even the part that kills you first. Stick around, because later, something's gonna walk right into your camp. And it's not going to knock. 3 months later, your tribe isn't sleeping in caves anymore. You're building something better, something that shouldn't exist yet. First you dig, a circle in the frozen ground, about 20 steps across. Your hands are numb by the time it's deep enough. Then the bones come out. Mammoth skulls, some over 200 pounds each, go down first as the foundation. You scavenge these from animals that died naturally, scattered across the steppe like a graveyard nobody buried. Then the tusks, curved inward, lashed together into a dome with sinew and rawhide. Archaeologists in Ukraine and Russia found real ones just like this. One site alone used the bones of 60 mammoths. 60! That's not a hut, that's an engineering project, built by people history likes to call primitive. There's no wood on the steppe, so you burn dried mammoth dung instead. And yeah, it works. And yeah, it smells exactly like you'd think. There's even a ventilation system. Low openings pull in fresh air, high ones let smoke and moisture escape. Bone Age engineers figured out airflow before anyone had a word for airflow. Inside, it's dark, it's smoky, and it's warm. You'll take it. Would you have guessed a house built entirely from a dead animal skeleton could outperform some buildings we make today? Because it can, and it did, for thousands of years. Then you hear it, a roar, low, close. You turn around, and it's already there. A cave lion, bigger than any lion alive today. Built for the cold, built for the open steppe. No mane, thick fur, and a bite that's already taken down young mammoths before. Ancient artists painted this exact animal on cave walls thousands of years before you were born. They feared it, you should too. And it's not alone. Somewhere behind it, in the dark, you hear more movement. Lower to the ground, faster. Wolves, running in packs, patient, the kind of predator that doesn't need to be the strongest thing on the steppe, just the most coordinated. You don't run. Running just tells a predator, chase me. And nothing on this steppe outruns a cat built to sprint down a horse. Someone grabs a rock, throws it wide. The lion's head snaps toward the noise. You back away, slow, no sudden moves. Eyes on the tree line where the wolves went quiet. It doesn't follow. You will die one day. That's not negotiable for you, for me, for everyone who's ever lived. But this exact kind of terror, over and over, for 100,000 years, that's the price of evolution. Without it, we don't get sharper eyes, faster reflexes, bigger brains. Without the Ice Age trying to kill us, humans don't happen. Your hands are still shaking as you walk back toward camp. Nobody talks much, nobody needs to. Smoke, off in the distance. Another camp. You approach slow, hands open, heart pounding harder than it did with the lion. They're Neanderthals, stockier than you, bigger skulls, built thick for the cold. Their fire crackles the same way yours does. Someone's sharpening a spear point. Someone else glances up, watches you, doesn't move. For a second, nobody says anything. There's no shared language here. Just two groups of humans staring at each other across a fire, both of you just trying to survive the same brutal winter. They didn't make it in the end. But here's the strange part. If you're not of African descent, somewhere between 1% and 2% of your DNA came from exactly these people. Genes tied to immune function, to skin. They're extinct, but they're also, quietly, still walking around. In you, right now. Thousands of years pass. Generations of your bloodline push further and further east across the steppe, following the herds. Always one migration ahead of starvation. Eventually, your descendants reach the edge of everything. Where Siberia runs out, where the ocean should be, except it isn't there, because the sea is locked in ice, and where an ocean will one day return, There's now a 1,000-mile-wide stretch of frozen grassland connecting two continents. Beringia. Generation after generation lives here, hunting the same mammoths, building the same bone houses. Before finally, some of them keep walking east, into a land no human has ever set foot on. They didn't know it yet, but they'd just become the first humans in the Americas. This new world doesn't look like home. It's warmer, greener in places, but it's not gentler. A ground sloth stands upright in the tree line, taller than any human alive, claws long enough to gut a mammoth. It's a plant eater. That doesn't make it safe to walk past. Nearby, a saber-toothed cat, a different beast than the lion your ancestors feared, but no less deadly. Watches from the grass, canines built like daggers, front legs strong enough to pin down prey twice its size. And worse, something even bigger moves through the trees. A short-faced bear, standing over 11 feet tall on its hind legs, longer-limbed and faster than any bear has a right to be. The undisputed apex predator of this entire continent. Your ancestors survived cave bears, cave lions, and countless generations of Ice Age winters to get here. Now they have to learn an entirely new set of monsters on an entirely new continent from scratch. That's the price of being first. So here's the real question. If an Ice Age hit tomorrow, with all our technology, all our science, would we actually survive it better than people who crossed an entire hemisphere with nothing but stone, fire, and mammoth bone? Or did we just get lucky the last one already ended? The universe has laws. COSO science just likes asking, what if it didn't? Catch you on the next one.